Welcome. In about a minute or so, we'll get started on the Insight Timer app, where this is a live session, interactive session. So I invite you to join us on Insight Timer. Hope to see you on Insight Timer. That's where we'll be together for this interactive experience. Hmm. Welcome. Welcome. We'll get started in about a minute. Thank you for being here. And it looks like, at least on my end, the camera settings have changed. So I don't know if we're just getting one view option or if you can turn the device sideways to have a wider screen rather than up close and personal. I'm not seeing the options on my end today, so I'm not sure if you have them. But you can play with turning your screen to the side to see if you get a little more room. Thank you all for being here. Hi, Michi. Oh, look, it's a picture of you and your doggo. So nice. So lovely to be together. Please feel free to share in the chat, my friends, where where you are in the world. We'll start with that before everyone gets here. Hmm. Thank you for your love. Oh, so beautiful. All right, let us officially begin. Welcome, everyone. Can you hear me okay? How's our sound? How's our connection? Hmm. Hi, Renika. Hi, Beth. Looks like the chat is running a little slowly per usual. No issue, yes. Well, hopefully you can hear me well. Again, the chat's running slowly, so I am. Oh, here come a slew of comments. Okay. Uh, oh, Sawadi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What a treat to see you here. Oh, welcome, beautiful. Oh, that warms my heart. Warms my heart to be with everyone. For anyone who's unfamiliar, Zawadi, please share phonetically in the chat if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. It's just a beautiful, beautiful soul and teacher here on the platform. I invite you to go and just be part of her wonderful, wonderful energy and presence if you haven't already experienced her. All right. Okay, good. Sound is good. I'm seeing your comments. Okay. Okay. Zawade. Yeah, did I get it there? Zawade. Zawade. Beautiful. Oh no. Uh with Zawadi, sorry. Zawadi. Hopefully I got it that time. It's pretty, thank you. My brain just wasn't processing the letters. Thank you, sister. Beautiful. Warm welcome, friends. Warm welcome. For anyone that I'm getting to meet for the first time, my name is Selena, and this is a beautiful opportunity for us to come together as community. I have many recordings here on the app. I have a 10-day course, Yogic Practices for a Peaceful Life. We also have a group on the app called Love Heals All, and all are welcome to join. It's a beautiful space for us to be together, to support one another, to uplift each other, to come when we're feeling broken, and just to be together. And that's one of the beautiful opportunities that we have in cultivating Sangha, this spiritual community. We can come as we are. Yes, we can be as we are and be in this compassionate remembrance, at least in this environment that we create together. This compassionate remembrance that all of what we experience is part of the human experience. There's so many different traditions label aspects of the human experience as wrong or bad or evil, but it's all just part of this experience. It doesn't mean that we necessarily want to continue in some of these ways or that they're the best thing for our alignment and well being or the well being of others, but we can hold this space of compassion. Ah, yes, I'm having a human experience. Ah, yes, I'm making mistakes, just like everyone else. I see so many comments are flowing in, so I'm just going to come back and make sure I haven't. Oh, beautiful. Thanks, Awadi. That's beautiful. Ah, so satsang, gathering of truth. Let's just be in that for a moment. I invite you just to pause whatever you're doing and just be still for a moment. We don't need to always effort and try in our spiritual practice. What if we just pause? Let's take a breath together. And just let yourself be, let your body be, let the thoughts be, the emotions be. And it's okay if you don't even know what that means yet. Can you just let yourself breathe and be still for these next few moments? Beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful. Ah, I love you. I'm so grateful to be together on the planet at this powerful time in creation of transition. In today's session and in each of these satsang sessions, we really have an opportunity to go within ourselves, go inside, and become more aware, more present to the inner world, to the self. Also, to be together in community, to share, to connect. And I love the environment that we create with the intention of satsang, this gathering of truth. Because again, in the human experience, it's not all rainbows and butterflies and sunny days, right? It's all of it. And especially those of us in a, you could say, conscious spiritual path. It's so important for there to be the spaciousness to acknowledge, oh, yeah, I'm having an experience that doesn't maybe align with what my idea of spirituality is. Because in the moments that we maybe feel like we're going backwards or falling off the wagon or we are dark and we should be light, whenever we're in that kind of inner conflict, we're resisting this natural flow of life. If we think about it, everything that evolves in creation goes through a progression, right? Uh, and we're speaking about evolution, meaning something that builds and grows in its experience. It doesn't just go from point A to point B. There's a journey, there's a process. And if you think about a baby, yes, an infant learning to walk, how many times does that infant fall? How many times do they, maybe walk a couple of steps and then they're just plopped down on their butt again? This is evolution. And this is each of us in our journey. Each of us. Yeah, thank you, beauty. Zawadi is sharing, I'm navigating that inner conflict right now. Yeah. I feel it. Let's just all take a breath in that together. Ah, this experience of I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I was so spiritual 5 years ago, but I'm less spiritual now. Uh, I don't like how I feel. I feel like my heart isn't open. I feel like I've lost touch with my joy. Mm. I feel like I'm just in the same old drama. There must be something wrong with me. All of these things are that falling down, the falling down. And then we get back up. It's this evolution of the experience. If we're not aware of something, how can we consciously shift it? And you might say, well, yeah, I'm aware that I feel depressed every day, or I'm aware that I feel angry every day, or I'm aware that I feel sad every day, but I don't feel like I can shift it. And sometimes it's about deepening the awareness. Yes. It's not just aware of the experience on the surface. It's about becoming more and more acquainted with ourselves. And for me, and for anyone who's kind of newer to my style, the root of everything that I share and where I come from is compassion. It is just the heart of the divine mother and compassion because we need this in our journey. We need this so much. And most of us are very hard on ourselves. Many of you have heard me speak that I'm getting ready to release a self love course, just 10 days to guide us into some really practical ways of being with ourselves and loving ourselves and learning to be more kind and generous with ourselves. And one thing that is always so important to address, at least in my mind, as we understand ourselves more deeply, is the inner critic. The inner critic, that judgmental voice or that judgmental behavior, it is rooted in self-preservation. Yes, it comes from different aspects of experience. Maybe the inner critic is the internalized judgmental voice of one of your parents or caregivers growing up. Often though, the this voice is there trying to protect us. It just doesn't really know how to do it in a way that doesn't hurt us. But it's that voice that's there that's saying, well, if I'm not spiritual enough, then people won't see me as spiritual anymore, and then I'll be defrauded, or what is it? Defraud, that's not the right word, is it? No, I'll be, maybe that's the right word. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, I'm an imposter, people will find me out. Or oh, if I don't do this thing perfectly, then people won't like me anymore. So that inner voice of judgment is there trying to keep us from having to face that pain and rejection. So let's just take a moment, just hold your beautiful heart. And if you can't move your body, you can just imagine holding your heart. Take a deep breath. And another breath. Can you just let your heart start to soften? And just recognize how at the root of this internal resistance, whatever that feels like for you right now, that at the root of it, there is some part of you in need, some part of you that is feeling afraid or lost or unsafe or longing. Just notice that under this internal pressure and resistance, there's part of you that is saying, please remember me. Please listen to me. I'm trying to get your attention. I just need your compassion. I'm doing my best. I'm going as fast as I can. I'm doing the best that I can. Please, please, can you be kind with me? Please listen to me. And it's okay if right now that emotion or resistance is just dominating your experience. Can you just take a breath into that? That's where most of us need to start, just taking a breath into that. Mm, yeah. I'm loving all of this love in the chat. Mm. Oh, sweet Jane. Yeah. I feel all those things and would love to shift it all. Yes, love. Yes. Well, if I feel anyone who's called to be in this space together, there's a resonance. Yes, there's something inside of the heart that says, I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't know how. I don't even maybe know exactly what I'm ready for, but I'm ready. I'm ready. So you're right on time. You're right where you need to be, right where you need to be. Can you just acknowledge that for yourself, just for a moment? Even if it doesn't feel true, just you can hold your heart again if that feels good, or maybe hold your belly, give yourself that sense of security, and just say, I'm right where I'm meant to be. This is part of my journey. I'm right where I'm meant to be. This is part of my journey. What are you feeling or seeing for yourself in this, my loves? We're diving in deep today, just right away. So, what are you feeling for yourself? What are you seeing for yourself in this? This need for compassion and this awareness that the journey is a journey. It's not point A to point B in one jump, it is an evolution, it is step by step. What are you seeing for yourself? And while maybe some of you are taking a moment to type in the chat, firstly, again, if you're not here on Insight Timer with us, I invite you to come join us here so you can be part of the interactive experience. And some of you are aware that uh, um, about a year ago, or I don't know, I don't know, maybe like May 21 to April of 2022, I went through a very uh, pretty sustained period of what you could call just absolute anguish. Now, what's very interesting about going through dark nights of the soul or even certain experiences like depression and anxiety, often the mind has this way of functioning where it sees that the experience is constant, but it's not really. There are always little breaks in the storm, whether it's for literally a split second where you feel peace, or it's maybe 2 minutes when you laugh with someone and then remember you're supposed to be depressed, or maybe you have a day of relief, and then it goes back in. We do have breaks from the storm. So this is just helpful for us to remind ourselves in general, because our the habit of the mind is to tell the story, I'm always depressed. I'm always this. I'm always that. But let's acknowledge that there are always little breaks, even if they last for only a split second. This is part of our remembering that we are in a journey. Yes. Um, oh, wish to acknowledge Jane's comment, and then I'll continue on. Jane shared, my heart actually softened and tears flowed out. Relief. Oh, yes, my love. Yes, yes, yes. That's it. Oh, that's it. That's it. I mean, it really is like in my experience. I'll come to your comments in just a moment. In my experience, um, Well, I've gotta get back. I just got so deep in there with you, Jane. Um, so that year period, and I've had many you could call dark or very painful periods of life, very ongoing periods with pauses and breaks in the storm. But it was a really rough one. And, when the pain is that strong, it feels like it's never going to end. Our minds really function in that way where we take the future and the past and bring them into the present and experience it as the present. So it's difficult to imagine that we could feel differently. It's difficult to access that feeling inside or the hope of that. So I was in so much pain, so much pain, so much pain. And I've gone through many beautiful, not always beautiful, beautiful in retrospect, but I've gone through many experiences over the last 20 years, at least consciously, things I was aware of, where I would be in the throes of pain and suffering. And then I would have an experience that would pop me out of it and wake me up for a moment, maybe for like a day or for some period of time. Maybe it was only an hour where I just felt the absolute peace and freedom of being, of presence, and then back in. And this has happened so many times, this contraction, expansion. And I'm usually aware, all right, I'm in a really expanded period. Wow, I've gone for like months of sustained peace right now, or months of not feeling like I'm drowning in emotion. So you know what that means. Now I don't need to create this for myself, but it was kind of a nice way for me to prepare myself that yes, I'm in this beautiful state. Don't be attached. Because in this evolution of being, contraction will come again. I'll say it again. In the evolution of being, contraction will come again. And so I went through this whole year, like maybe since I was a teenager or maybe early 20s, like the longest period. I don't know. Maybe it happened in my early 30s. I don't remember. It was a long period of anguish, like anguish, daily, just pain that I could not get away from, anguish. And it was coming up. Sometimes we do work together. Yes, we don't just do esoteric work. We also get into neuroscience and understanding how to work with our brains and our minds and all of this work. But sometimes you just have to let it be. Sometimes you can't fix it. You can't shift it or transmute it or alchemize it or repattern it. Sometimes you just have to let the pain move out. Sometimes it's ancestral pain, it's lineage pain, it's karmic pain. Sometimes it is pain that is just moving out from our cells, from our genes. And we just have to be in it. And naturally, I'm in one of the most expanded periods of my life. Not because I'm special or because I meditated so hard, but because I dove in to that suffering. I didn't really want to. When I was in it, I was like, please, God, I can't do it anymore. But before that period came on, I was like, yes, grant me the grace of surrender. 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 I am ready to be free. And if that means facing all of the deepest pain that is lingering in the subconscious, I say yes. Grant me the grace of surrender. I am yours, beloved. Contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. And all the while, you, my beloved, beloved soul, my beloved self, my beloved heart, beloved, precious one, you are presence. You can never be anything but what you are. And that is source, that is life itself. You are the beauty of life itself. And the contraction and expansion is just the play of experience. You are an enlightened being. You are an enlightened master who has forgotten for the sake of experience. It's okay. I need to go back through the comments now. Yes. Ah, yes, Jane. Just my heart is just like, just melting with love with you in that. Beautiful, my love. I mean, what a beautiful example you're sharing in your vulnerability. My heart actually softened and tears flowed out, just holding the heart and being kind with ourselves. That's it. This is one of the most profound techniques I have experienced and learned. Just that. Hello, my dear Jason on Maui. Are you enjoying your time so thoroughly, my love? We'll have another retreat on Oahu and all be together. Thank you, Marcy. You're right on time, my dear Jason. Liz shared having less answers, but more hope than I have had in quite a while. Yes, that for me, my love, is definitely part of the surrender. The surrendering is I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because when I say I don't know, what do? I open myself to receive. I'm not in the control of needing to be right or needing to understand. I say, I don't know. Show me. Open my eyes, open my heart. I may see beyond the limitation of the small identified self. Vanessa shares, aha moment. There can be a compassionate process involved when looking at my wall of uncertainty. Beautiful. Yes, thank you, Erin. More pouring out of love from you all to you all. That's beautiful. I just love it. Our little love fest every time we come together. Annika's sharing, it's true. We need to be involved more deeply in life with being less attached to it. Yes, easier said than done. Absolutely. Vanessa shared, yes, yes. I was in a season of expansion and I'm attached still as I'm no longer in that season. Yeah, that's what we do. I remember I learned this a long time ago. It's like the most infuriating thing, right? How many contradictions are there in the realm of spirituality and awakening? You're like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, but if I do that, then it won't work. And it's just like this whole game of surrender. And I remember, it's like, okay, be committed to your spiritual path, be committed to your enlightenment, be committed to your soul, and this, there's a certain concept. See, one of the things here that I think we can also look at is our perception of contradictions in this context is due to our limited ability to understand the spiritual teaching in its true essence. And I think in general, as human beings, we do that with many, many, many profound teachings. We can't fully understand it. Like I know even in many spiritual texts, right? Ancient spiritual texts, I won't name any, the mind of human misinterpreted these teachings that were from this place of pure compassion and love. There was misinterpretation of the teachings. And so it became about rejecting some, welcoming some. This is misconception because the mind of the human being, when it is not awakened, is very, very limited. It can only understand what it understands, which is very limited. I mean, think about it. Think about when many ancient spiritual texts were written. Yes, they're coming from the heart of a master or some elevated consciousness. But think about the way we lived back then, right? We were like, I mean, how uneducated were we? How much of a lack of compassion or understanding of the world did we have long ago in these times on the planet? We just didn't have the kind of consciousness we did now. And then we interpreted teachings that we've been sharing for thousands of years. But that's a whole other. Yes, I think really the bottom line of what I'm wanting to share here is that we have these misconceptions because our minds are still opening and blossoming to be able to understand them fully. Zawadi is sharing, that has definitely been what my journey has been like for the past 12 years, seasons of expansion and contraction. Absolutely, love. Yeah. I've been I've been consciously well, I started meditating, many of you know, when I was 5, really started meditating regularly when I was 14. And I met my beloved spiritual teacher, Saima, about 21 years ago. So I was in my spiritual path before 21 years ago, but it's really been in these last 2 decades that there's been such a whole new awareness, right, of my experience. And it is that exactly contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. And I don't know, Zawadi or anyone else, if you can relate to this, but in my experience of the awakening process, the periods of knowing myself as light, the periods of embodying soul truly, the periods of expansion, they become longer. They become more sustained. They become more anchored. And I at some point I would love to start sharing more of this more esoteric alchemy work. That I one of the biggest factors in me being able to hold for my cells to actually be holding the light in a way, for my brain to be holding the light in a new way. So I actually experience just profound peace more than contraction quite often. So I don't know, again, if anyone can relate, but those periods seem to grow longer. And if that's not your experience, please no need to compare it to mine and say, oh, I must be doing something wrong. No, no, no. We all have our own journey. Yes. So I honor each of us in that. Anami is sharing, resonating deeply. Inhales, deep nods. I feel I've been experiencing this the past 6 months. It has been hard, and the back and forth has me feeling like I'm going crazy. Yeah, so that's why we need to anchor as much as possible. What are our centering techniques? What do we do to come back home to ourselves? Many of you know the centering technique. We actually forgot, I forgot, not we, me, all me. We haven't done that yet today. So why don't we actually do that right now for a moment? See the centering technique. So the hands come to the heart. And again, you can just visualize this if you can't move your body. Hands to the heart, sit nice and tall. And the idea here is that we want to match the breath and the movement. So the breath is moving slowly and the body is moving slowly as well. This is a powerful ancient yogic technique that we can use any time of day, as many times as we like. So let us inhale slowly as the right hand reaches up, the left hand comes down by the navel, straighten the upper arm if possible, and then exhale really slowly all the way back to the heart. Take your time. This is important. Let us become more present, conscious. Inhale the left arm all the way up. The right hand comes down. Open the chest. Exhale slowly all the way back to the heart. One more time. Right arm reaches up. Straighten the arm. Left hand by the navel. Open the chest. Exhale really slowly, like moving through honey. And then just pause at the heart. If you feel like you need to do one more to feel balanced, feel free to do that. And then just be still. Feel your palms touching, the pads of your fingers and thumbs touching. I am here. I am here. I am here. Beautiful. Thank you. You can do that as many times a day as you wish. Brings all bodies, everything back into alignment. All right, so we're going to come back a little further. I see a couple questions came in. We're going to get to them in just a moment. Yes, Linda, my pleasure. Anami is sharing. Oh, I feel like I've been simultaneously getting closer and further away. Incredibly surprised how rarely I felt okay of late, despite the growth that's transpired. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's it right there. The remembrance that the periods of contraction are part of the evolution. Can we hold ourselves in love? Can we hold ourselves in kindness in the moment that we feel dark, that we feel alone, that we feel like something's missing or wrong? Can we hold ourselves tenderly? That's it. Because sometimes that's all we can do, right? Um, Zawadi is sharing, yes, that resonates. My experience of peace gets deeper. My connection with divinity gets deeper. That's beautiful, right? Because that's what happens. Like the more we're willing to crack open in the pain, the more we open ourselves to life. Right? Like it's like vulnerability. I know many of us think of the word vulnerability and we think of being weak or we think of being exposed. But when we're speaking about vulnerability in terms of, let's say, emotional vulnerability or the vulnerability of the personality, this is where the richness of life is. When we are vulnerable, we are truly opening ourselves to life. And at first, it can feel really raw and uncomfortable and unpleasant. And we're like, oh, what is this feeling? I don't want it. I don't like it. Right. But when we allow ourselves to crack open in that pain, there's the beauty of the fullness of the heart. We will feel things in our bodies and our emotions that we didn't even know were possible when we allow ourselves to open in vulnerability. It's like having gray sunglasses on, like gray lens sunglasses on, and then taking them off on a bright sunny day. That's what vulnerability does when we open to life. All right, questions. Question. Aaron sharing the brain certainly has a hard time really getting the soul's path of expansion and ultimately ascension. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Marcy, we're coming to your question. Thank you for your patience. Do you believe? Oh, sorry, the comments are coming in, so the chat flies away. Do you believe that through your expansion and contraction that you've still experienced an overall upward trajectory, or do we need to understand that expansion and contraction is this normal cycle without progression? Let me just read that again. Well, got it. Um, my soul is letting me know that it's always an evolution, meaning we could say always this upward trajectory. Yes. The mind wanted to say, well, sometimes maybe we can get a little slowed down, right? Not wrong, not bad, but maybe sometimes we're staying in the contraction a little extra because some of our patterns or habits. But I trust the soul. The soul knows. The soul's like, it's always upward trajectory. And I guess maybe part of the way we could understand that is that in every moment there's a micro evolution happening. But I think it's for each of us to consider. I do believe, though, that it can all be evolution. What do you believe? Hmm. Marcia is sharing, I'm always sad when my physical or mental pain comes back and ascension, happy, positive, faithful hours fade. Yeah, exactly. We get bummed because we think we're wrong, right? Oh, this is wrong. This is how deep the conditioning is around happiness. If I'm not happy, there's something wrong. Hmm? Familiar, anyone? If I'm not happy, there's something wrong. If I'm not joyful, there's something wrong. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe something that can be helpful sometimes for anyone who remembers the story of the little soul and the sun, which I reference often, especially when we talk about soul. Maybe I'll do a brief recap just in case anyone's unfamiliar with it. And just because I love it so much. So there's this little soul in the place where souls are, however you wish to think of it, heaven, cosmos, source. And the little soul goes to God and says, God, and remember, God is however you wish to think of it, presence, source. God, I really want to know what it feels like to forgive. And God says, well, little soul, to be able to forgive, to know forgiveness, you need to have someone to forgive. And so the little soul says, okay, I'll go find someone to forgive. So little soul goes around, finds another soul. Excuse me, would you be the one to help me experience forgiveness? Oh no, I could never do that, little soul. Do, 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 do. Excuse me, would you be the one to help me experience forgiveness? Oh no, I couldn't do that to you. Again, excuse me, would you be the one to help me experience forgiveness? No, little soul, that just, I couldn't do that to you. On and on and on, soul after soul, the little soul is asking, will you be the one to help me experience forgiveness? And time again, no, I don't want to play that role with you. I don't want to hurt you. And finally, the little soul comes across another soul. Excuse me. I always get teary right here. It's like my soul is like, remember when you did this? Excuse me. Would you be the one to help me experience forgiveness? And the other soul says, you know what, little soul? I love you so much that I will be the one to help you experience forgiveness. But just remember that when we're on earth and we're playing these roles, you won't remember that it's me, the one who loves you so much, who has hurt you. We can take that. It is me, the one who loves you so much. So, why am I sharing that in context with Marcy's sharing? Because we come here for the sake of experience, not only to feel happy, not only to be good, we come here for the sake of experience, this human playground and the evolution of soul, this awakening, the remembrance that we are not just soul, but that soul itself is just a ray of the sun of source, and that we are all source. So when we feel that we've lost faith, when we feel angry or ashamed or afraid, maybe it would be helpful to remind ourselves that our beloved precious soul is on a journey, just like all of the other souls on this playground. And we're all having these different experiences. Yeah, so tender. Yes, my joy to share the centering technique. I love it so much. It's so simple and really powerful. Glad you enjoyed it, love. Yes, vulnerability and transformation. Mm, mm. All right. Jason has something to share. I have a story about vulnerability that I have to move through. Then reading a book that described the exact thing that terrified me from being vulnerable. Whoop, flew away. Gotta come back. I couldn't put it into words, but the book did just that. Let me know I wasn't alone feeling that way. Too long of a story to write here. Thanks for sharing, love. It's always so beautiful when we find something in writing or a teacher or a friend or just an experience in nature that reminds us of these beautiful teachings that bring us home to ourselves, right? Because that's kind of what it feels like, isn't it? When we have that aha moment, it's like something inside can relax and settle, like, oh, right. I kind of remember for a split second that I'm okay, that I'm loved, that I'm right where I need to be. Mm. Thanks for sharing, Allison. Thanks for being here. Oh, yeah, Anami, bawling like a baby. Yeah, I see all the tears coming in, my darlings. Mm, yeah. Yeah, Jane. It's very, very deep to consider that, right? Yeah, Aaron shared, gotta find a picture of our 3-year-old selves and meditate on it and heal. That's beautiful. For anyone who doesn't know this practice, um, if you have a puja or an altar, a sacred space where you maybe sit and meditate, or you just have pictures of ancestors or gurus or spiritual teachers or angels or crystals or whatever you do in your little sacred area, make sure you have a picture of yourself. Absolutely. Some I know I've said this to some people, like I'll be working in a one-on-one session and we'll get to this and people are like, a picture of myself on my altar? That's blasphemy. And I don't, and no disrespect. I'm not laughing at anyone. Just it's one of the most mm, in my experience, learning to love myself more and more has been the doorway to freedom for me. It hasn't I mean, I'm sure all the things I've been doing all these years help, all of the meditation and introspection and shadow work. But the place where I feel the transformation the most is when I'm loving with myself, when I'm compassionate with myself, when I'm kind with myself. Have a picture of yourself on your altar. I have one of myself as an adult and as a child. Yeah. Mm, beautiful. Beautiful. Mm, love it. Ah, beautiful. This has been such a precious time together. Sydney sharing, I have gone through my old school photos and forgiven them for what they experienced then, and it was very powerful. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, and Zawadi is sharing. Um, I hope I'm saying your name correctly now, my love. I'll get it, I promise. Uh, Also, it can't be blasphemy because we are divinity. We are one. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm, what a gift. Just breathe that in, my friends. Breathe that in. We are one. You are connected to all of life. I know sometimes we feel so alone and so unloved and unsupported or just in the pain of it all. But what if you could just remember in the depths of your soul where this is seated that you are one with everything, that you are loved beyond beyond understanding, that you are accepted eternally, infinitely, just as you are. Mm. Yes, mirror work. It's so wonderful. So wonderful. Yes, I always love being together. I always, that's, sometimes we'll go over so long just because it's so good to be together. Yes, mirror work. If you've never done any mirror work, it's so beautiful. It can feel very awkward and very uncomfortable at first, but it is so powerful. Go into the mirror and look at yourself in the eyes. And at first it might feel really weird. You want to look away. You want to look a different direction. You're like doing this one like this, right? Look into your eyes and start to breathe deeply, really looking into your own eyes. Feel like you can start to maybe melt a bit of the wall of tension or resistance there, if possible. If not yet, no worries. And then just say to yourself, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. I love you. I accept you just as you are, whatever feels authentic for you. And some of us are so unaccustomed to speaking to ourselves in these ways that it will feel awkward no matter what you say. So just go for it. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yes. It's such powerful work. Mm, mm. Well, well, my precious, precious, precious hearts. Any final things you wish to share? If we have time, we'll complete today with just a little bit more of this juicy holding of ourselves in love. Thank you. So glad, Bethany. Thank you for being here. Mm. I'm so glad you joined too, Linda. Mahalo, Arlene. Mm. All right. Well, as a reminder, a couple reminders. Oh, yes, a couple important reminders. Oh, I'm so glad, Jane. I love you. Yeah, we need to find the laughter. I remember um there's this well, just wrap it all up into one sentence. When we laugh, truly laugh, we can't think. Notice this. The next time you're really laughing, you won't notice it during probably, but it's like the mind starts to turn off or turns off completely, and we're just there in presence. And then, of course, all of the wonderful hormones and endorphins that get released when we laugh. Thanks, Jason. I have a 2-hour layover tomorrow in Maui. Maybe I'll see you at the airport. I think you leave tomorrow, right? That would be fun if we ran into each other. Ooh, let's make a date of that. Ah, thank you, friends. Oh, I'm so glad, beloved. Blessings to your beautiful soul and all that you share with the planet. What a gift. What a gift you are. Each and every one. I know some of us get caught in feeling like, well, I'm not doing anything big in the world. I'm not out there like Zawadi and Selena and Allison. I'm not sharing my gifts. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to work. You don't know the gift you are in the world. Maybe there's a day where you just let somebody in traffic and it totally transforms something in them. Maybe you smiled at someone at the cafe or at work and it touched something deep in their heart that you'll never know about. And then, of course, there are the places and people in our lives who we do touch, who do who are transformed by our light, our presence. And even if you're like, well, Selena, none of this applies to me because I never leave my room, even that, your light being on the planet is part of what is allowing the birthing of this new era. Just you being here in a body, your light is a gift. So be kind, be gentle. Yes, you are such a gift. And if you feel inspired to share yourself more, to do more in the world, do it. Call on that courage. Remember, courage doesn't mean fearlessness. Courage means in the face of fear, I choose. Yes? Call on that courage. Go for it. Share yourself. Maybe just something little to start. Maybe some post on social media or something, right? It can be small. Or just saying something kind to a stranger. If you wish to share more of yourself, beautiful. The world is ready for you, baby. And if you're content being where you are a gift just as much. So be generous. And we all need your light. Know that. Know that you are a light on this planet. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing about courage, right? We just keep keep nourishing it, building it, cultivating it. That's it. And of course, confidence comes from experience. The more we do something, the more we feel confident. So many of us are like, oh, I just don't feel confident. I can't do it. Okay. Well, the way that we build confidence is by doing the thing that we feel a lack of confidence around. Yes. It's not like, I pray for confidence. Now, actually, you could pray for confidence or you could use affirmation techniques, and it would actually help to boost confidence a lot of the time. Yes, because you're calling that in for yourself. But really, it's through repetition of something that we develop that as a skill and a way of being in the brain. So it's okay. Yeah. Let us be generous, compassionate with our journeys. Yeah. There's no one way, there's no right way. And if you find yourself saying to yourself, I'm wrong or I'm bad, where can you give yourself more compassion? Now, sometimes you might say to yourself, I feel like I'm in the wrong place, or I feel like I'm not in alignment with my path. And that can be an inner knowingness. That can be an invitation to say, oh, I'm out of alignment, got to come back into alignment. And I'm not saying that this was wrong or bad, right? We could even say that's just part of the evolution because going out of alignment and learning to come back into alignment is what helps us stay in alignment, right? You see where I'm saying, where I'm going here, my friends? You see this picture I'm painting? It can all take us back in the path. So if you're aware you're out of alignment, my emotions are really off. I was eating that thing I know isn't good for me. I know I'm engaging in a way with someone that I know isn't healthy for my soul or my body or my heart. Okay, I'm aware I'm out of alignment. How do I consciously choose to come back into alignment? How do I consciously choose to serve my soul? How do I consciously choose to serve my highest good and my well being? Out of alignment, back into alignment. Do the centering technique several times a day. Speak to your soul. I released these couple of tracks, I think last month. One is called like Soul Invocation, and another one is a soul journey. Listen to that regularly, especially the soul invocation one. Start to develop a relationship with your beloved soul. The more you nourish your relationship with your soul, or if you don't believe in soul, with your presence or just with your inner heart, your beingness, the more you cultivate a loving relationship with this self inside, the easier it is to choose things that are in alignment. Because when you start to go out of alignment, the friction is so intense. You're like, oh, I used to be able to do that. I can't do that anymore. Ooh, I used to be able to go out drinking all night. That just doesn't work. Ooh, I used to go on that date with that person. Oh, you just feel it. It's like you can't go there anymore because you're aligning with your soul. So listen to that. Align yourself with your beloved self, and you'll go weaving, little dance, right? All right. Hmm. Hmm. Loving your comments, loving you. Mm. Yeah, exactly, Sydney. Marian shared, I almost didn't come today, but my guides kicked my butt. Oh, kicked my butt, and here I am. I am so grateful. Beautiful, my love. Beautiful. Yes, it is like filling up my gas tank of my car. I'm set for the week. That's it. That's why we come together. We elevate. We elevate. We come together. We expand together. We hold ourselves with compassion. Yeah. Yes, Mercy. Exactly. Just come back to yourself again and again. Oh, wonderful, Debbie. Oh, wonderful, Jeff. Beautiful. All right. Well, let us complete today. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. What am I forgetting? Well, maybe I'll just go over a couple logistics so that when we close in a few minutes, we'll just go over about 5 minutes for anyone who wishes to stay. Um, but I'll give a couple practical announcements, logistical announcements, so that we can just close in the energy together. So tomorrow, I'm leaving to go be with my beloved guru, my beloved Saima. So I'll be coming back full of energy to share with you, full of light. And so we won't be meeting. Oh, goodness. Are we not even meeting next week? Is the next time we're meeting on November 11th? No, no, no. We have a couple. Let me just double check here. Mm. All right. Because then after I come back, I'm here for a few days, and then I go to Costa Rica to lead the retreat there. So our regular meeting schedule is not very regular right now. Okay. All right. We just have one session between now and November 11th. So get in when you can. I know it's difficult for our family further on that side of the world. Um, but our next session together is a yoga asana session, our vinyasa session. And that is at 3 p.m. Eastern on October 21st. I think that's a Friday. So I think that's the end of next week. So I look forward to being with you then. And if you can't make it then and you're just needing this juice, come join our group, Love Heals All. Be together in community. Feel free to really use that group the way that we do here when we're together. Yes. You can share a topic. What do you think of this, friends? What elevates your consciousness? What helps you be kind with yourself when you feel like you're hard on yourself? What uplifts your spirit? How do you speak to your soul? You come together in community. You don't need me there. Yes, to be sharing your light and uplifting each other and supporting each other when you don't feel bright. Yes. Use the group Love Heals All for that. I have so much content for you to listen to or to re-listen to. I'll see if I can actually make a recording of this from today. So this will hopefully I can make this a replay for anyone who's wanting to re-listen to it. All right. I think those are all of the logistics. Let us close the eyes. Relax your jaw, your throat. And if you can, hold your heart. And feel as you're holding your heart, it's as if you're holding an infant or a puppy or a kitten. You're holding this precious being in your hands. Feel this tenderness in your hands. Take a deep breath into your heart and feel like you're giving yourself permission to relax and let go. And if it feels good, you might also have one hand on the belly. Maybe you want both on your heart today, or one on each, or whatever feels best for you. Feel like you're really holding yourself. And then ask yourself, what do you need from me? My beloved self, what are you needing from me? And just listen with an open mind. And now I invite you to give this to yourself in your life. If it's something you can give to yourself right now, go for it. Maybe it's a hug or rest, or maybe when this completes, you'll nourish your body with water or healthy food. But maybe you just need to not be so hard on yourself. And so you hold your heart right now and you say, I love you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I see that you're doing your best. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you for forgiving my judgmental mind. I'm so sorry that I've been so hard on you. I love you. I'm learning to love you. I give myself permission to feel, to be a messy human being, this messy human experience. I give myself permission. And I remember now that we are all in this experience together. We are all making mistakes. We are all growing. We all feel pain. And there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just learning. I'm just growing. There's nothing wrong with me. And then we'll complete. If you can move your body with this really sweet nervous system nourishing technique called havening, just open your eyes a little if they're closed. Bring your hands to the tops of the shoulders. If you can do this on bare skin, great. If you have clothes on, no issue. And just very gently and slowly brush down to your elbows and then bring the hands back up. You can have their arms relaxed. I just lifted my elbows so you could see. So brush down and then come back up. Brush down. And let's just do this for the next few moments. Just slowly, slowly brush down. Feel your belly relaxing, your heart softening. Hmm, beautiful. And then just give yourself a big squeeze. Kisses. Hmm. And just say to yourself, I love you. I love you. I love you. Mm, my loves, I'm so grateful for our precious time together. Enjoy great, great, great love, unbounded love. We are all in an ocean of love as love itself. I know it doesn't feel like it a lot of the time, but it's always here for you. And my heart is yours. Come be in my heart whenever you feel alone or afraid or don't know what to do. Just come be in my heart. Hold your heart. Mm, thank you. Thank you so much for your donations, also. I'm so grateful for your support. So grateful. I look forward to being together soon. Come be together in our group if you wish. We remember we're all connected always. Can just tap into this frequency, into this energy, into this grid of our togetherness. All my love to you. All that I am.